that?
We have a new
that
location that we're going in 6 weeks, and we're super excited about it. And just in the whirlwind of being excited about it and having lots of conversations with family and friends, we've had a lot of conversation about what travel looks like and things we've learned. And so that's what we want to share with you in this video. The rain in Spain wasn't everything to play. But something that we did learn that is not what I expected is the calling felt different in different places. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. We're talking a little bit about travel and some things we've learned and just want to share with you.
We thought it would be nice to share with you guys in case anyone's in a similar situation, but just to help people think through long-term things that are important to you. Maybe this can help you think through that if you're looking for a move or anything, because it's been helpful for us to talk through these things.
That's what I've noticed. The more that we talk through it, the more I realize the things that we've learned in just a year, and things that even as I say it, I'm learning it, the things that are so important to us. So
yeah, we just wanted to share a few things that we look for in our shorter term places that we stay, which for us is about 3 months. First, where we find our place to stay, you usually take care of that.
I always try to find a place that's as close to where I work as possible. We only have one car, so that's super important to us to be able to travel together, or at least for it to be a short commute. Also looking for a safe location, obviously. So I always use Airbnb or Furnished Finder, which is an app that's specifically for travel nurses and different medical professions, and it's for a longer term stay, and it's specifically furnished, obviously. So that has worked out really well for us. A tip that we always use actually is we'll try to get in contact with the owner, and then we'll try to FaceTime or just get to know them before we sign a contract or anything, and make sure that we feel comfortable with them, we feel comfortable with the place, and we really have everything that we need, and they feel comfortable with us too. Because it is a little different for most Airbnb people to have a couple stay for a whole 3 months. Especially, the responsibilities are different.
Yeah. So what's important to us short term? There's a few things that we always look for.
The first thing that I look for whenever we're trying to travel somewhere, although I'm directed by my work as to the actual city that we're going to, we want to find a church that's a healthy church that teaches God's word, that helps us to grow, and that holds us accountable. Those are the things that I look for the most. And the first. Obviously, that encompasses the next thing that's super important to us, which is community. So, friendships usually blossom from church first.
For us, that's how it's worked so far.
I've made plenty of friends at work that have been great, and even meeting people in other at a gym or different things like that. That happens, but we want most of our friendships to come from the community that we choose.
Yeah, and that's worked really well for us as a family, but also for me in particular, because it's super easy to go to church and establish relationships with other women, because I don't work with Michael, and so I don't know a lot of his work people. I do know some of them, but church is super easy for me to establish those relationships on my own, and then go to women's Bible studies or meet up with a friend, to get coffee or something. That helps us make friends and just have local community within whatever area that we're going.
Another thing we always look for is a gym, just because we try to stay healthy as best we can.
Possible.
We like to have healthy food, but on a budget, oftentimes the best way to stay healthy for us is just to be active. Yes. It helps us mentally as well as physically.
Yeah, so we try to keep up that habit no matter where we go, no matter for how short it is, because it really helps us also develop our schedules in a new place, because we can put that in. Okay, go to the gym, work. We can put that into our weekly schedule.
It's something we enjoy too.
Yeah.
Also, we like to look for a place that basically we can just get out and enjoy. Oftentimes it's somewhere where Allie can work, since she works remotely. So even if it's just a Starbucks, we're looking for something like that. Coffee shops, libraries, cute bookstores, things like that. Just somewhere where she can get out and.
Yeah, I usually enjoy, especially since I take Michael to work, if I'm going to use the car, I enjoy going somewhere else to work, because I feel like when I come home, I do work remotely, but there's like laundry to be done, there's food to be made, and I can get distracted. But if I go somewhere else, I can kind of get the work done apart from home, and then when I come back home, everything is kind of done in its own place. And I can also see people. That's another thing that's kind of big for me, is I like to just be out and around people, whereas when I come home, I feel a little bit more isolated.
It's a pretty short list for what we think is important, or we've been looking for thus far with short-term stays. You know, just 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, we try to keep the main things. Really, church and community pretty much cover it all.
Yes. Well, we found that we thrive the most when most of those, as many of those as possible, are met.
That brings us to kind of talk about something else that we've been talking about, is basically just our expectations versus our reality as far as travel.
Mm-hmm.
My expectation was that every place that we go we just set up those basic building blocks: church, community, friendships, healthy lifestyle through the gym or whatever it may be, but basically the big building blocks. And as long as we did that, like could live anywhere and we would love it. And the reality is, yes, like that's true. But something that we did learn that is not what I expected is the calling felt different in different places. Like whether or not we felt called to that place, or whether or not we even felt like we were needed.
Mm-hmm.
Those things kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah, just the calling is different in different places. And I'm similar to you, because I think that we have approached travel from a perspective that we are looking for a longer term place. We do want to be settled for longer than 3 months. So we're not just thinking, we are enjoying the process and we're enjoying being in each place, but we are looking at it more from a longer term perspective.
Right.
So we're realizing a few things that we would, we talked about the things earlier, the shorter term gym, the church, the library, like the things that are good for shorter term, but it's different when we switch to more of a longer term scope or point of view.
And I was thinking always, like, kind of asking myself that question: could we stay here long term?
Mm-hmm.
And thinking that those short term things would make it a good long term experience.
Yeah.
But those things haven't lined up exactly like I thought they would.
Yeah. And
even though short term, every place we've stayed, it's been so fun and we've learned so much, and we're so glad we've done it.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't mean what I thought. I thought we could live anywhere long term.
Mm-hmm.
We could, but we're not called to live anywhere long term.
Right.
I think God's calling us to a specific place.
I think that when we say that we're traveling, lots of people are like, "Oh, the mountains are so beautiful. You're like, would y'all live there long term?" Or, "Oh, the beach is awesome." Like, why would you not want to live there long term? And for us, we are very adventurous. We're very outdoorsy. We love the adventure, but we are realizing that we don't want to live somewhere because it's the beach, or we don't want to live somewhere because it's the mountains. Like, that's not a strong enough pull to bring us to that place long term.
In that sense, we could live anywhere. Like, we love the mountains. We literally have loved North Carolina so much, and Georgia too.
Mm-hmm.
And we loved the beach. So
but
that's not the thing.
Yes, that's not the thing that will keep. We're realizing that's what we're learning, and lots of people probably have already realized this before us. I mean, honestly, it seems like a very simple thing, but for us, I think we had to come to this conclusion. We had to leave the place we were from and kind of come to this conclusion on our own. And I think the Lord's definitely worked in us in that area, and to teach us and show us where He would have us to be.
What I've found with the travel is that the sense of belonging, obviously it comes from relationships, not so much from like where you live. And my first relationship on earth is with Allie, so like that's my belonging. I can live anywhere as long as she's there. And like I said, church is super important to us. Obviously, wherever we have a community that's a community of faith, that is going to be super important to us, and we can belong there.
Yes.
But I think God gives us a calling and a specific direction that's different than what I expected, which was just, if you have your wife and you have your church, you'll be fine. But no, there's like specific place that He's called us to.
Yes. Which transcends the coolness of the location.
Yeah.
The other thing that the fun thing is that we are excited about being settled in somewhere for longer than 3 months, and then going on vacation to places that we think are cool.
But we thought like, it'll be so fun to travel, like for work, and it has been. But you bring the stress of work with you, so like I'm like, I'm enjoying the mountains, but I'm like, well, we gotta go to bed. Because like Monday, I'm back at work. And really, we haven't taken many vacations. It feels like we're vacationing all the time because we're traveling, but we need like time off.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like, I'm excited to be like, okay, work is in this place, and then I can move away from that and really create a separation.
So that's the other thing that we realized that, normal people already know, but we're excited about in terms of.
Sometimes you gotta learn from your own experiences.
Well, that's kind of our journey. We thought that you might enjoy hearing some of that and may be able to learn from some of our experience as well. Another of the reasons why we're kind of going through this, talking through this, is because this will be the start of your fourth
and final travel rotation.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't have to be the final one, but we're feeling like it will probably be the final one. We will see if that's the case, but
we will always be traveling. We just might not always be traveling
for work. Yeah. Because you signed a 1-year contract, so we could extend it if we wanted to.
I could extend it just for another 3-month thing, 6 months, however long.
But we're feeling like this upcoming one that we'll move to in 6 weeks will probably be close to finishing it out for us. But that's what's bringing this kind of full circle for us, is just thinking towards the future.
It's so eye-opening to me because I feel like my entire life I've had just moments like this where like God opens a door and I kind of walk through it, and then like there's a moment of reflection and realizing like what He's done and what He's taught me. I feel like that's a lot of what's going on, and it reveals the next step. I hope you guys enjoyed this little change of pace from our travel vlogs to just kind of sharing what's been on our hearts. We're really excited to share where we're going next. We'll be updating that soon and letting you know our new location. But thank you for following along, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.